Hi, everybody. I am Holly Celiano, and I have my co-host, Dr. Matthew Singer. Welcome, Matt.
Holly, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's such a pleasure to be with you.
Yes, I love these conversations we have. So today's topic is based on our wounds, is the frequency of people that will match that wound that are in our lives. So when we are at a wounded place, if you notice, if you look back in your life where you were, and now those wounds you were carrying, those people were kind of in the same frequency, vibration.
Yes.
As you heal yourself, are those people still with you? I can look back on my life and say, no,
Yeah.
many of them have left.
Yes. I absolutely agree with you. I could look back on my life and realize as I healed, those people are no longer in my life.
Right. So let's talk about that because a lot of people are carrying wounds. And there is a saying that if you are wounded, you commiserate with the same group of people. There's another way of saying that. You know what? I can't think
I,
of what.
yeah.
Um, anyway, so you're gonna attract those that are in the same energy, the same vibration as you,
Yes.
because you have a commonality with each other. You're
Correct.
going to be able to relate with them, and you can feed off of each other's, bitching and wounds and
Hmm.
stories. And well, it just is, it's like your own little club.
Yes. It's almost like if we ever took a field trip to a senior home and you see people in their wheelchairs gathered around the round table telling each other their woes about their ailments and their illnesses and their negative thoughts and how this person did this to this and their child keeps doing this to them and woe is them, right?
Yeah.
And then they attract people. You see them slowly migrating towards each other wanting to tell each other their negative stories or their negative
Yes.
experiences, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then when you heal and you're not in that woe is me place, you don't want to hear that anymore. It's
Right.
like, I can't be part of that. I don't want to partake in this anymore. And you
Yes.
move on, and those people are still staying with their woe is me story.
Yes. So the neat thing we know universally in terms of the laws of the universe is we cannot perceive what we're not a vibrational match to. So once we heal and now our vibration goes up. So here, let's say I was stuck in a place of fear and lack and worry, and I'm judging myself and I'm criticizing myself. Now I'm attracting all those people in my life to do that to me. Oh, you don't look good today. Or are you wearing that to really? When's your next haircut coming? Or you suck at this or this or that. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Well, that's my inner state. So now all of a sudden I change, and now my entire universe just shifted. But everything around me looks the same. My house looks the same, my office looks the same, but I'm not the same person because I'm a vibrationally different frequency than I was when I was in that negative state.
Right.
It's fascinating, right?
It is fascinating. It even is with relationships. If you're married or with a partner and you start growing and improving yourself and advancing, and your partner is not, you become so mismatched.
Yes.
You're a vibrational mismatch. They don't like your growth. You're not with them anymore. You're
Correct.
seeing the world differently. You're behaving differently. You're talking differently. You're thinking differently. And they
Yes.
don't like it, and they don't know what to do. And then you have arguments, and you're just totally disconnected.
Correct.
That
So,
happened with me in my marriage. I started
yeah.
growing and advancing, and then we were just not on the same wavelength.
Okay. So let's go deeper into that. When you were saying about that with your ex-spouse and you felt like you were disconnecting, what
Mhm.
did the energy feel like?
I felt like I was in another world, like I
Okay.
was seeing the things a different way.
Yes.
looking at life differently, and I was different. I couldn't
Yes.
be back to the way we were viewing the world.
Yes. That's exactly right. So when we know the laws of the universe say we cannot perceive what we're not a vibrational match to, it's like you're saying you feel like you're literally in a different world. You're a different version. So it's like we can't see the person the same because now we've shifted.
Correct.
It's so fascinating, right?
It is fascinating. That's why healing your wounds and doing the emotional work puts you in a higher vibrational state, puts you
Yeah.
in an elevated state of being.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I remember um, uh, this is probably about a decade ago. There was an incident with a patient in my office where um, I was probably 30, maybe 32, and she was probably 68. And she brings me into the to my office, says she has to tell me something important, and then tells me that she's madly in love with me, right? And not only that, she was telling everybody at her church and everybody in town that I was going to leave my wife and we're going to get married and have children together.
Oh
And she
boy.
was 68. So it was actually it was it was it was not a pleasant thing because I had to dismiss her from the office and I had to take legal action on her to not come into my office again and all this stuff. So about a year later, her name popped into my head and I was like, oh no, don't do that. Because the second her name popped into my head, I'm now shifting into that old vibration. And I kid you not, like a week later, she called me. No, I didn't answer it, but I was like, oh my gosh, the universe is that exact. And it matched that negative vibration. So I literally brought her back into my life. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. I've heard many stories of people that you haven't even thought about for the longest time. And as soon as you think about them, they'll call or text. I hear this all the time from people like, I haven't thought about so and so forever. And I thought about them. And then out of the blue, they called me.
Yes. So that really shows how deep this world is, this universe we're living in is, and how powerful it is. So think about it like this. We always talk about abundance and we talk about manifesting. That is the most powerful form of manifestation. We think of somebody and then they call. We don't
Right.
have to go out. We don't have to search for them. We don't have to hire a private detective to find them. We just think of them and then they come to us. So imagine if our viewers want to learn how to manifest something, you think of it and then it comes to you. How simple is that?
Exactly. However, in order to have abundance or something of that energy, your vibration needs to match that.
Yes,
So if you're not at that vibrational match for whatever that abundance is, you're still going to block it.
absolutely.
You can put a lot of energy and think about it and positive stuff and affirmations, and eventually you'll be at that same vibrational match.
Yes. So it's so interesting. So that means we're manifesting either the positive or the negative. We're manifesting it into our life or out of our life. It's always a manifest, like the machine is always turning. The
Correct.
manifestation machine is always working. So what I have to do is I always have to be so aware of my state of being, my point of attraction, my vibration. Because
Yes.
and it's very easy right now with the state of everything to get sucked into fear,
Yes.
right? Because there's so much false information being floating around on social media, on the regular media, and to people. Hey, have you seen this? Have you heard this? And it can get overwhelming for some people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important what you think, what you see, what you read is exactly what you're going to call into your life. So
Yes.
be really, really clear what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're reading, what you're watching. It's there's an energy and a frequency to everything.
Yes. So you may have seen this. There was a video of Bashar. You and I know Bashar very well. Who is just an amazing Daryl Ankles, just an amazing channel. And there was a video that was put out very recently, and it looks like it was manipulated negatively. And this woman was asking him, not him, but Bashar, uh, what is going to be the outcome of this upcoming election? Have you seen that one?
No,
It's
I
like a
have
minute
not.
and a half. So I'll send it to you. So basically, what he says is, um, if the male, but I'm going to explain this to you. It says if the male energy gets in, it will lead to the termination of the United States and World War III. If the female gets in, it will lead to open contact and peace. So when you think about that, and if you think about the two parties right now, not gender, but their energy. When you think about one of the parties, and I ask myself, okay, who really is the male energy? And it's not who you think, it's not the man. Right? You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because the man is actually the compassionate,
Oh,
caring.
I see what you're saying. He's giving
Yes.
more of a feminine energy.
Correct. So, like, for example, like
Okay.
when I'm working with patients, I'm going to emit a feminine, compassionate, loving energy. I'm not going to bring in a male dominant energy.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So people were showing it to me and they were freaking out. And I said, no, 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 you have to really decipher this. Because a medium is not going to, the angels are not going to come out and say who it's going to be. They're going to say the male energy. So you have to find out in your heart who's the male energy, who's the fear, who's playing, this aggressive, you know, role versus who's composed saying, what do you want? For what do you want your life to look like? Your country to look like? Do you want to stop war? Do you want to stop, over drugging the population? Do you want to stop this horrible toxicity in the foods? You know, that's a compassionate, loving energy.
So, just for our listeners that are not aware of this, both male and females in a human form carry the masculine and the feminine energy. Now, sometimes some males in a physical form carry more of a feminine energy than masculine energy, and some females in a physical form carry more masculine energy than feminine energy.
Mhm.
And so it just depends on, you know, whatever you're identify as doesn't mean that's the energy, your frequency. I really think a lot of us doing this work, we want to be balanced with our masculine and feminine energy.
Yes,
Even if
absolutely.
you like, if I had, as a female, want to have some masculine energy out there in the world. If
Mhm.
you're all feminine, then you're just going to be a pushover and walked on. And if you're a male in this lifetime and you're too masculine, you're just going to be, railroading everybody and pushing your weight around.
Absolutely. That's why in my office, I have to balance that energy in myself and come in
Mhm.
with, a tremendous amount of compassion and love. Yeah, so I absolutely.
Right. So going back to carrying wounds and what we're going to attract in our life, if you want to change your vibration, your frequency, your circumstances, even the people in your life, then work on healing your wounds. And then you will start attracting a whole new tribe of people, and your
Yeah.
circumstances and life will improve.
Yes. And it's almost instantaneous because when you do start meeting those people who are like-minded, who are no longer like the version that we used to be, isn't it amazing how fast you start to see that happen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it really is. It's like almost automatic.
Yes. And then you may find as you're on this progression of shifting, you may go up and down in your energy. You may have some times where you've escalated and you're high, and then you'll dip down, and then you'll
Mhm.
climb back up and dip down. But eventually you're going to get to a place where you're pretty neutral, and then
Yeah,
you just gradually always just keep increasing. There's not going to be highs and lows and dips like you used to experience.
correct. Absolutely. The other interesting thing is the more that we start to raise our vibration, do you find that as you raise your vibration, the things we thought we used to need to make us happy, we don't really need that much anymore,
No.
right?
You
You
know,
realize,
I'm curious if you feel the same. As I raise my vibration, I realize more and more I want less and less.
hmm
I don't want stuff. I don't want things. I don't want possessions.
hmm
I want the freedom, simplicity, um, travel, joy, happiness,
yes,
things that money can't buy.
right. And that's one of Wayne Dyer's books. He talks about that towards the end of his career when he moved to Maui in Hawaii. He was talking about that, where he had an entire condo of his accomplishments, his trophies, his books, and everything. And as he raised his frequency in this life, he realized that was so insignificant to him. And eventually he actually sold everything or just gave it away. He didn't need it.
Right.
Yeah. Very
Yes.
interesting. So yes, I agree with you 100%. The more we raise our frequency, the less importance is put upon things that used to be of utmost importance. Buying clothes or watches or material things is not as important anymore as, like you're saying, going somewhere and just looking at nature,
Mhm.
going to the mountains, or just seeing the most incredible landscapes or watching nature. It's amazing.
Right. It's more as you keep raising your vibration, you want to be in the world, of the world, but not in the world.
Yes,
And it's usually the opposite before we raise our vibration. We're in the world, we're not of the world. So
correct.
we're focused on all the other stuff that the world gives you.
Yes, absolutely. And it's extremely powerful when we're living in that synchronicity with the energy, with the world, with others. That's where things just start to unfold in ways very fast, but ways that we never could have imagined could have happened.
Right.
Yeah,
It's almost like we become childlike again because you
yeah,
can give a child the most simplistic thing, toy, or put
hmm
them in nature and they're fascinated by
yeah,
it and they see the beauty and it can just like you just watch their expression. It's not things that make you happy. It's the moments.
correct.
It's that feeling. It's
Yes,
that's what children, they're not interested in things. They're just interested in those moments, those feelings.
yes, 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 yes. And that is the power of, like you said, when we're in the moment.
Hmm.
That being in the moment is being connected into our heart space, right?
Yes.
That's that connection to the all that is.
Yes. Well,
When we're,
again, we've talked about this. It's living in the present.
yeah,
When
absolutely.
you're just fully present each and every day,
Hmm
you're not thinking about, the past. You're not mulling over things that happened. And you're not totally, I mean, obviously, we're thinking of, a future, but you're not living life in the future. You're living in the present moment.
Yes, exactly right. So, and what's interesting is when we're in the present moment, that's where we're actually now projecting out clearly to the quantum field
Mhm.
of who we are. And then you'll see that match come back so fast. It's
Yeah.
when we don't, it's when we don't know who we are, and then I want this, but I don't know if I can have it, or I see this, but I'm afraid. What if it's not there? What if this? What if that? So now we're putting all of that confusion back to the quantum field. And now we're going to start attracting the match of contemplation, confusion, fear of moving forward.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where, if people are struggling in their life, they need to look at their wounds, look at their frequency, vibration, look at the people that you associate with.
Yes.
Because if you want to be somewhere else, look at people that have what it is that you want, or are of the mindset that you want. That's
Yes.
why if all those self-help books out there, Think and Grow Rich, and um, you know, there's a whole bunch of them out there. If you start reading that, you start shifting your mindset to
Yes.
be that.
Correct.
I,
Absolutely.
I I'm sure I've shared the story of my son, but he launched his own landscaping business when he was 21. Well, really 19, but fully immersed at 21. But prior to doing that, he was reading a book a week. That's all he did, was
Yeah.
read self-help books,
Hmm.
and just immersed himself. He did that for months and months and months and months. And he got, like, the grooves of his mind just got wired to
Yes.
thinking and being that. So he is very successful. Um, but he had to retrain his brain.
Yes.
And
And
then he, got a coach on how to be, that's doing what he's wanted to do. How do I be successful?
yes,
Give me guidance on what to do.
correct. Very powerful, right?
Yes,
Yes. And when you're aligned to, like, your son is aligned to his passion,
yes,
right? And when we're aligned to our passion, the formula is take that passion as far as you can take it. And then you will keep being supported by the universe to keep going further and further and further.
yes.
Yes.
The problem with most people is they don't have their passion.
Yes.
They're not dialed into what that is. They're in jobs they don't like. They're just surviving to pay
Yes.
their bills, but
Yes.
they're not doing what they're passionate about. They're
Yes.
not loving what their life or what they're doing.
Correct. And then they're emanating that energy of fear, irritation, annoyance, resistance, and then they wonder why they keep getting more of that in their life.
Yes, yes.
Yes, very interesting.
So let's break it down for those that are not in the right vibration to attract the things in their life that they want. What would you recommend for them on how to shift?
So the first thing is, like we were talking about, let go of all the past thoughts of, well, I tried and it didn't work, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know how to get started. Let go of all that, because the more we say I don't know what to do or how to get started, we'll just attract more of not knowing what to do or how to get started. So, like we always say, right? The first is, let's get clear and let's just stay in the now and stay focused. What would the second one be?
Well, get clear on what it is you want, identify it,
Yeah.
and then start taking necessary steps to do that each and every day.
Yes. Absolutely.
Somebody told me today, and I thought it was a great thing. If you're not happy with your life, write down 10 of the most important things that you want in your life, whether it be you want to get out of debt, you want to improve your health, you want to lose weight, you want a better relationship, you um, want more money,
Hmm.
whatever that is, write them down, the 10 things. Then break down three things of those 10, and then pick one. Pick
Yeah.
one that's your most important.
Yes.
And let's just pick get out of debt.
Yeah.
So if that's your number one thing, then every single day you make it a point to work on getting out of debt. whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you.
100%.
Yes.
100%. One of my favorite authors, Christy Whitman, she's a medium. So she wrote a book called like The Seven Steps to Success, but it's
Mhm.
exactly what we're talking about. She says, think about it, focus on what it is that we want with such intention.
Yes.
Focus on the why. Why do we want it? And then determine how long within reason it's going to take us to satisfy this desire, and then never let go. Only focus on the mind and be grateful for it like it's already here. Remain fully confident that we can do whatever is required to have it, and expect total success. Don't
Yes.
ever go into a place of doubt, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. The second step would be really take action.
Yeah.
You know, first identify what it is, take action. And then step three, like take action every single day until you get the desired results.
Yes, absolutely. And it will happen.
It will
If we stick with the laws of the universe, I promise to our listeners, it will always happen. It's just
always.
we have to let go of incongruent thoughts.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, this was great. Thank you so much, Holly.
Oh, you're welcome. I love these.
It's the best.
It is. All right, everybody, on your journey to success, to healing your wounds, to attracting the vibrational frequency of what you want in your life, and identify the things you need to get there, and then start taking action every day.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.